Hey everyone, it's Kenton Becker, American Pacific Mortgage. I'm here again with another weekly video tip for you. This week's tip is all about a topic of buy now before things get a little crazy. I predict that things are going to get very crazy in our market very soon here. As we're already heading into the summer months, generally in our market here in Washington, things do heat up right after spring and leading into the summer months. And that's just kind of a natural occurrence that seems to happen year after year. But I think it's going to be even magnified because we've had this pent-up demand of sellers that want to sell their home. They want to move to a different neighborhood, or they've outgrown their home, or they're outgrowing their home, or they've had, children that have left the home and now they need to downsize, but they want to sell so bad, but they're sitting in a nice low interest rate that they just can't get themselves to sell that home and take a higher interest rate on the new home. So they're just waiting. So I want to talk about what it actually takes for a market to go crazy and heat up. Because I've tracked this stuff for a little bit, really ever since I became a loan officer. Now, I became a loan officer back in 2002, so I've been doing this now for about 22 years, and I've seen a number of ups and downs in the market and different cycles that the market goes through. And what I've kind of noticed is that it takes two things for a market to really go crazy. And these two things have to work together. If they don't, or if one thing's not quite there, and then a market's going to be kind of stagnant a little bit. And those two things are, obviously, interest rates. And are homes going up in value, or are they going down in value? Now, when I started as a loan officer way back in the early 2000s, what we saw was a market where homes were going up in value and interest rates were coming down. So actually, when I became a loan officer, the market was great. Homes were appreciating, interest rates were improving, there was a lot of buyers, people were purchasing homes. There was one added thing, though, that actually became kind of a problem, and that is that anybody could get a home. If you could breathe, you could buy. That created an issue because come 2007, even though interest rates were going down and home prices were still good, we started to see more foreclosures because people just couldn't afford the homes. People got into homes that couldn't afford it from the beginning, and it caused a lot of problems. Now, people think that we're in that market today, and we are not in that market. If you want to buy a house, you have to prove you can afford that house. You have to show income documents. You have to prove that your credit scores are high enough. You sometimes have to put down payment or do an assistance type program that has to be paid back. It's not a situation where you can just write a number on a paper and go, yeah, I make this much money. See, I wrote it down. No, you have to prove what you can make to prove you can make that payment. So we're in a very different market than we were back then. But because homes started to go down in value, the market started to go crashing. And that crashing caused homes to go down in value even further. And that all happened like around 2007, 2008, when even though rates were improving, home prices were actually starting to go down. Remember, I said for a market to go crazy, you got to have interest rates improving and home prices improving. So it really wasn't until about 2018 or 2019, right in there, that I actually started to see this combination come back, where interest rates were still pretty low and getting better, and home prices were beginning to improve. And all the way through about 2018 until about 2022, we saw this. And if you were around our market during that time, it was crazy. Bidding wars, people offering hundreds of thousands of dollars over asking prices, people buying homes because interest rates were in the 2% and 3% range, homes going up in value like crazy. It was insane. And really, a lot of that is still there. That demand to buy homes is still there. But the problem is around 2022, 23, right in there, we started to see interest rates go up. And because interest rates were going up, even though home prices are going up, it's not the combination we need. And so the market has been kind of stagnant. And this leads us to today. So what have we started to see happen within the last about 2-3 months? Well, we've started to see interest rates coming down. Around the beginning of the year, the interest rates were in the 7s. Now they're pretty solidly in the upper 6s to mid 6s for a lot of clients. And we're actually seeing a lot of signs that throughout the summer, as the Fed begins to contemplate maybe lowering their rates, also going to be making some different moves in the treasury markets and the bond markets with how their holdings are. And I won't get into all the details on all of this in this video, maybe a future video. Basically what it's going to do is it's going to be less money in the system or less money in the economy from treasuries and bonds, and that's going to help improve interest rates. This is why a lot of people are actually predicting that as we go throughout this year, we're going to see rates get into the mid sixes, low sixes, back into the fives again. Now, I saw a study recently that said that a lot of home buyers, there's a large percentage of home buyers that are just waiting for interest rates to get into the fives before they're comfortable selling their home and getting into another home. And I fully believe that, because if you were in an interest rate in the threes, you wouldn't want to jump into an interest rate in the sevens. But you might be comfortable jumping into a rate in the fives if it meant selling your home and buying something that you really want. Is as interest rates improve and come down into the sixes and fives, we're going to see a flood of new buyers. But we're also going to see a flood of new inventory. And I believe the market is going to take off again like it did in those early years of 2018 and 2019 when rates were improving and there was a good amount of inventory and home prices were improving as well. So what should you do? I think you should buy now, because home prices are going to continue going up. And what I've always said on these videos is you should marry the home price, because once you buy that home, you are locked into that price, but you can always date that interest rate. You can always refinance that interest rate as those rates improve. You can't change your home price once you bought it. So if you buy at a home price today while home prices go up, you're locked in at that nice low home price today, and then we can always change that interest rate for you as they come down. So anyway, I just wanted to give kind of some history on what the markets tend to do as they go up and down. And I do believe that we're going to be into a hot market this summer and into the future year 2025. I think things are going to really pick up here. But thanks so much for joining me on this weekly tip. Hey, if you disagree with me, I want to hear it in the comments. I want to know what you think about this. And if you like these videos, you want to see more of these videos, make sure you like and subscribe to this page. Thanks so much for joining me this week. Have a great week.